to Brisbane and welcome to World Title Fight Week on Wednesday night, live on Main Event Television from the Pat Rafter Arena here in Brisbane. You will see the IBF Welterweight Championship of the World fight between the reigning and defending champion from Northern Ireland, the undefeated Lewis Crocker, and Australia's own former world champion in Liam Paro. That is your main event. It's an exciting undercard though. Of course, we're going to see the third professional fight of big Nelson Asofa-Solomona, who takes on George Burgess in what will be your co-main event. A stacked undercard underneath that as well, and we're going to talk to a number of the fighters here today. Of course, the action begins at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Fox Sports on Wednesday night. Then at 7 p.m. we do head to Main Event pay-per-view. You can access Main Event via Foxtel and KO. So that is what is in store for us on Wednesday night. Right now, though, it is your official press conference, and to start us off, it is the big boss at No Limit Boxing in George Rose. George, you must be excited just to be here. We stopped and we started, and finally we're a couple of days away from a world title fight right here in Brisbane.
Yeah, look, it is an absolute pleasure to be here, and a very big welcome to Lewis Crocker and his team coming all the way out here to Australia. And it was a bumpy journey to get here. That's the truth, Ben. Is that there was a lot of periods there where we weren't sure where we were going to land on a date and location, and it is always a concern when you've got a world champion changing teams leading into big fights like this too. You never know where you're going to end up with, and luckily enough, we were able to lock in a date, lock in a venue, and it is great to have someone of his calibre out here in Australia. He is definitely a well-deserved world champion. It's a pleasure to be able to put on a world title fight here in Brisbane, Australia, and to have Liam Paro have the opportunity to fight for the world title here in Brisbane.
George, clearly you're firmly in the Liam Paro camp, but have you been surprised in the last couple of days by all the word around who's the favourite, who's the underdog in this fight? It would seem that the defending champion's pretty keen to cement himself as the underdog in this fight.
Yeah, look, well, there's no question who the favourite is. He's a world champion. He's earned that title. He fought very hard to win that title, and he deserves the mantle. He comes out here with everything in his favour. He is the champion. He's experienced it before. He's been there before as a welterweight. Liam Paro hasn't done that yet as a welterweight, so he's definitely an underdog here, and he's representing Australia proudly. As Aussies, we always are the underdogs when we're coming up against these great international opponents, and we always fight above our weight because everything's always sitting in their favour. They've always had these careers where, in particular in Europe, he's got so much access to so many international opponents. The opportunities that they get there are something that we aren't afforded here in Australia. So we always do it tougher here in Australia, and that's why he'll always carry the favourite tag. But I love being an underdog. I love backing an underdog. And Liam Paro, while he might be an underdog coming into this fight, he'll be leaving with that belt.
Yeah, just set the scene for us about that fight. What would it mean to you at No Limit, to Australian boxing, and to Liam Paro himself if he could do that and overcome the champion in this fight and become a two-time world champion on Wednesday night?
Well, firstly, it's history-making. To become a two-division world champion, it's history-making. There's only one other person who's done that, and for him to be able to come out and do that and represent Australia proudly and become a world champion, it's a huge honour for any boxer to be able to get the opportunity to become a world champion. He's done it before in a lower weight division, and to come out and be able to do it as a welterweight is history in the making, and it's an opportunity for everybody to see and be a part of. And that's why we made sure too that we turned this into a fantastic card. So it's going to be a great viewing night of boxing, and Liam Paro gets a chance to make history on the headline.
Yeah, you mentioned that card. Talk to us about the co-main event between Big Nelson and George Burgess. We've watched the build-up to this for a number of weeks now, and we're not too far away. What are you expecting in that heavyweight battle?
Yeah, look, as I said, I want to have a good night. I'm here for a massive world title fight, but I want to have a good night while I'm out there. So we tried to match some really good, really exciting fights, and this is one in particular. Nelson's been living up to what you'd expect from a man of that size. A big, strong human. He's been delivering in the ring. And the only thing that I could think to test him out that little bit more was find someone who's just as big as him. And when George Burgess stands up against him and they're eye to eye, like, he's a big human. I've faced both of these guys on the footy field. they're very, very scary on the footy field, but they're even scarier when it's just you one-on-one with that man in the ring. So both of these guys, very big guys. I think whoever lands first, it could be a good night for them, because when you're that big and you're that strong, the fight is not going to last long. So that'll be one that won't last too long. So for the boys, when they're warming up, getting ready to walk out, be prepared for this one to end pretty quick.
And what about the rest of this card? We see a number of the fighters who are here with us today, others who are watching on and who will join us at the weigh-in, of course, tomorrow. But just talk us through what else you're excited about on this card.
Yeah, look, another great matchup in Dempsey McKean and Liam Talivara. Liam's been in Fight of the Year fights, Knockout of the Year fights. He's been on the receiving end. He's been on the delivering end. He's a guy who absolutely entertains when he steps in the ring. And Dempsey, I thought in his last fight, it's the best that I've seen Dempsey look in some time, and I feel like this is the resurgence of Dempsey McKean as well. So this is a fight that's great for the Australian heavyweight landscape, because we've got so many guys taking on good fights. It's a really good time to be an Australian heavyweight, because they are challenging themselves and they are taking on these big fights. And that in particular is one fight that, again, I don't know which way it goes, because heavyweights, absolutely anything can happen when they're in the ring. As I said, they've both been on the giving and the receiving end, but this will be one, again, it could end very quick, but both very, very skilled boxers too in their own right. So both worthy of a view on Wednesday night. And of course, as I've mentioned last night, I'm very excited about the No Limit debut of Luke Medini. Now, if you talk to anybody in boxing, everybody talks about how explosive this man is. We will all see on Wednesday night firsthand what he can do, because he's a guy who's an absolute threat in the cruiserweight division, a guy who's going to be a fantastic name across Australia, a guy who's going to set crowds alight. So he's one to tune into early, and make sure you watch that fight, because I'm expecting big things from him, and I couldn't be any more excited to see the explosive career that this guy is going to have.
Best place to watch it, of course, is on Main Event pay-per-view, but if you can get to the Pat Rafter Arena, one of the best places to watch boxing in all of Australia, are there still tickets available, George?
Yeah, look, Brisbane locals, make sure you get behind your local fighters here. It's going to be a hell of a night, Wednesday night. What else are you going to be doing on a Wednesday night in Brisbane? Come out to the fights, enjoy the night, Pat Rafter Arena. We're going to crown a new two-division world champion. We're going to have some crazy heavyweight, cruiserweight fights. It'll be a hell of a night, so get amongst it. If you're not, kick back at home, enjoy it. Foxtel Main Event, KO Sports. There's no better place to watch the fights.
We'll talk to the fighters who are involved in our world title fight. The IBF Welterweight Championship of the World is up for grabs in this fight. The champion joins us, an undefeated fighter from Northern Ireland in Lewis Crocker. And Queensland's own Liam Paro, of course, he is a former world champion attempting to become a two-time champion of the world. I'll start down this end of the table with the trainer, Alfie DiCarlo, of Liam Paro, the challenger in this fight. Alfie, what would it mean to you and to Liam to win a second world title here in Australia and here in Queensland after having to travel around the world as you have done in your careers?
Oh, look, I think obviously it would mean the whole world to Liam in particular. He's been a guy who's had to go on the road for most of his career, at least towards the top end, to get those amazing results. And now he gets the opportunity, a deserved opportunity, to be able to fight for a world title on home soil.
George Rose, the promoter of this fight, expressed his surprise that Lewis Crocker had changed camps, had changed trainers after winning the world title. Is that a surprise to you as a trainer of a former world champion that did take place after winning a world title?
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting move. I mean, he's obviously, Lewis Crocker's got his reasons for doing that, and I think, as we sort of been said in the past, it could be a great move or the wrong move. We have the benefit, Liam and I, of a 11-year relationship. We've been through the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, and I think it's safe to say that I know him probably better than he knows himself. And I know that the knowledge of your own fighter and time in the game means everything in boxing. And if push comes to shove, there's no one that knows Liam better, and I'll get him through those times.
What are his strengths in this fight? What are his advantages, Liam Paro, against Lewis Crocker?
I think Liam's obviously, everybody knows, is very, very eloquent boxer. Moves very, very well. IQ, second to none. And I just think that, in terms of what Lewis Crocker we see on the night, I know that we've got the artillery for whatever he brings to be able to overcome that.
Yeah, we know there's a couple of versions of Lewis Crocker. We saw that in the two Paddy Donovan fights. What version are you expecting on Wednesday night?
Probably a guy who's going to try and walk up. I think that a lot's been said about his size and things like that. And I think, Liam at the end of the day is a 140-pounder coming up, and everybody might have their own views about whether he's truly a fully fledged welterweight yet. But I think if you had to, his odds on to probably try and walk forward, and I think that will be his undoing. Anything
further you'd like to say before we talk to the opposition camp, Alfie?
No, look, I just obviously wanted to thank No Limit for this unbelievable opportunity. We understand how hard it is to go on the road. Liam's done that for most of his career. And, after becoming a champion, I know, the feeling that we sort of had having to travel all the way to Puerto Rico to defend that belt for the first time. It's a pretty yucky feeling, to be honest, and I know that Lewis Crocker deep down will have those same feelings as well. He would have much preferred to have defended this belt on home soil, and travelling all this way, he's never travelled this far, and the way he sort of reacts to that and responds, we'll see on Wednesday night.
Okay, thank you so much, Alfie DeCarlo. Asofa Iqbal is the trainer of Lewis Crocker. Great to see you. Welcome to you and to the camp to Brisbane. I know you've settled in nicely over the last couple of weeks. How has that process been, and how do you feel about this fight taking place on the other side of the world?
A massive thank you to No Limit, all of Australia. Brisbane's been excellent. You people are really class. Honestly, I've never been to a land where I've not met a bad soul, to be honest. Very happy to be here. Please do not misread the fact that we are taking this very seriously. We've left our families, come out here nearly a month early, left our families, and we're here prepared and ready to get the show on the road.
You can understand the fascination with the fact that this is your first training camp with your fighter, who is a world champion. What has that process been like for you, taking charge of him at this all-important stage of his career?
Yeah, no, that's not true. I've actually worked with Lewis previously before, so I worked with Lewis maybe a good 4 or 5 years ago. So we had a good bit of training time done with Lewis then. Lewis is a good friend. Been in contact with Lewis throughout the whole time as well. And it's not my first rodeo. I thank God I've been in boxing for a very, very long time. Worked with some world-class fighters, some amazing names. And Lewis is one of those guys that ticks all the boxes. Very rarely do you get a guy come into the gym and you see a display of performance and you're like, wow, I didn't see that. You know what I mean? I didn't see that. And we've had a long time working. And time is what you make of it. You can know someone for maybe about a week or two, a month or two, and you feel like you've known them for a lifetime. And that's exactly that's how I feel about Australia now anyway. But and that's what it is here. We get on like a house on fire, and we're all good down here.
But he did have a different trainer in his corner for his world title winning fight. So that is where the fascination comes from.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's the fighter. These guys. What happens is, look, trainers and coaches. Yeah, we're there. We play a very heavy part in this. These guys have gone through their amateur careers. These guys have gone through their whole careers. They live their careers with their parents as well. They know themselves more than we would ever like to know them. Deep down, if you have fighting experience and you come from a fighting background, deep down, you know what's in your locker and you know what's in your bank. And us as coaches and trainers, we can dive only so deep to understand our fighters and have an understanding of what we believe in our fighters. But really deep down, they know what they're capable of and they know what's right for them and what they need. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And that's the man that I have next to me. The man I have next to me, he's the man who's willing to take me to war. I will stand behind this man in battle. I will stand next to him on his right-hand side to go into the firing line with him. And that's what we're here for.
Clearly, you are confident and you're very comfortable here and you've been made to feel very welcome. But realistically, would you prefer that this fight took place back at home for Lewis?
No, not at all. Not at all. Look, imagine us in Belfast, and imagine every other kid on the block wanting to stop Lewis for a picture whilst he bloody needs a drink of water, or we need to get to this venue and all the rest of it. I've seen it already. Do you know what I mean? But this is a beautiful, good, professional setup. Alfie and the boys have been class. Alfie's dad, all of these guys. There's not one person who I've met that's got a bad word to say about Liam. That says a lot about Liam within himself. He's a gentleman. And I believe that when you have got two mature, professional men coming to the ring, the fight speaks for itself. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to do the selling of the fight. It's going to be a cracking fight. It's going to be a fight. What doesn't it tick? Speed, power, aggression, IQ, whatever you want, it's served up. And No Limits are the guys who have the pleasure of putting this fight on.
What happens in this fight? You will have studied, I'm sure, Liam time and time again. Clearly, you know Lewis very, very well. What's your expectation for what happens on Wednesday?
The expectations from any opposition of the team is that they expect their man to win, and my expectation is that my man is going to win. And we plan on taking this belt home on a first-class seat.
Okay, thank you so much, H. Let's go now to the fighters. We'll start with the challenger, Liam Paro. Liam, just talk about this event, being the headline act as you are, taking on a defending world champion here at home.
Yeah, it's massive. You know, and I can't thank the Rose boys and No Limit enough for getting it over the line. You know, this is what dreams are made of. It really is. Fighting in front of my people, making history, and what better way to do it against an undefeated world champion? You know, I've taken those previously, and I'm looking to do it again. I'm really keen for this one. It's going to be a war.
You've travelled the world, you've caused major upsets, but does it give you an advantage being here at home in your own backyard where you live and where you sleep to take on someone who has had to travel across the world?
Look, you know, this is I'm in routine here. I live here, you know what I mean? So like I said before, I eat, sleep, shit here. This is it. It's another day in the office for me, you know? So I've answered the questions of travelling abroad. I've prevailed over there. It's just they're questions that you should ask Lewis, you know? It's up to him now. Is he going to travel well? You can say a million things, but time will tell Wednesday night.
What are the difficulties of having to do that? What would he, do you think, be experiencing at this point and on Wednesday night?
Look, you're just out of routine. You're travelling on the other side of the world. It's uncertainty. You're not familiar. It's unfamiliarity. So they can say whatever they want. I've been there. I've lived it. I've done it. And I know it's not the homely feel. But look, it's yeah, like I said, we're days away from finding out if he can sink or swim, pretty much.
A lot of talk in the last couple of days as to who's the favourite, who's the underdog. I know that you yourself asked Lewis last night at the face-off why he thought he was the underdog in this fight. Why does that fascinate you so much?
Look, if you got the belt, you're champion, hold your chin high and represent your belt and protect with all you got. You know, the underdog's already telling me that you got doubt. You know what I mean? When I had my belt, I did everything I could to hold it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it wasn't the way, but that's just the mentality I've got. You know what I mean? I don't have the belt now, but I've got the championship mindset. You know, I've been there, I've done it, and yeah, I'm ready to make history, man. And this is what it's all about. This is as big as it gets, world title fights, and yeah, it excites me. It really does. So
you consider that a sign of doubt in your opponent?
Look, a little bit, you know, but everyone takes it different. That's the way he processes it. It's different the way I process it. We're not the same men, but yeah, we're gonna square off on Wednesday night, and the better man's gonna win.
Tell us what happens in this fight, Liam. I'm sure you, like everyone else up here, has studied it time and time again. How does it play out when you've put your head on the pillow and start to dream about becoming a two-time champion of the world?
Look, I'm a fighter, and I'm going to back myself. And if any fighter doesn't back himself, you're in the wrong sport. You know what I mean? I say I'm going to win. I'm sure he says he's going to win. And yeah, we're just going to see who wants it most Wednesday night. I'm confident that I'll walk away with a new belt and two-time.
And do you want to just say something to the people of Brisbane who can get there on Wednesday night, the people of Australia who can watch on Main Event, of course, on Wednesday night as well?
Yeah, if you can get here live, don't miss it. You know, you can't beat a fight live in the flesh. June 24, Pat Raft Arena. If not, catch it live on KO and Main Event, and don't miss it.
Thank you so much to the challenger, and that is Liam Paro. And this is the reigning, defending and undefeated champion of the world in Lewis Crocker. Lewis, welcome to you again. Some interesting words there from Liam. He says that the fact that you have been adamant that you are the underdog in this fight, to him, indicates that you have doubt about the fight. How do you respond to that?
No, but it's just the fact of the matter. You know, like if you ask 99 people here, 99 people's gonna, or 98 people's gonna say Paro's gonna be the successor here. Going abroad and stuff, like they're making the big deal out of like the traveling and stuff. Like we got out here plenty of time early, and you know, there's the doubts, can I do it? Like he's did it abroad and stuff. Literally by the odds, he is the favourite to win the fight. So that's where that comes from. Obviously, me and the team are confident. But yeah, like that's where the underdog things came from, because I am the underdog to the general public in this fight. But that's not the way me and my team see it.
Does that give you motivation, the fact that you are, as you consider, the underdog and the betting underdog as well? Is that a position you like to take into your fights?
Yeah, for sure. You know, like I was a big underdog in my last fight, and I came through to win the world title in my city. So, you know, it's exciting. You know, big respect for Liam, a phenomenal fighter. So, no doubt we're going to put on a great performance.
You would not rather take this fight or have had this fight back home? I know you've said you're very comfortable here, as has your team, but now that you're a couple of days out, do you kind of wish this was taking place in Belfast?
No, listen, everything's meant to happen for a reason, and we're in this right moment right now, and we're in Australia, you know, fighting in the biggest fight of my life. So, you know, that's all I'm focused on. Listen, it wasn't in Belfast, it's here now, do you know what I mean? So, obviously it would have been great to be in Belfast, but I won my world title in the National Football Ground, 17,000 people, like, that'll never be topped. So, like, going from that to this, like, it's listen, how could you complain about going anywhere to fight someone if you're the world champion? You know what I mean? It's, you got to do what you got to do, and we're ready.
We'll have a lot of focus, I'm sure, and we have already, in Liam, if he were to win this fight, how important it would be to him and to Australian boxing. What does this belt, this world title, mean to you? You fought so hard to win it, and now you are defending it for the first time. Just express what it means to you to be a world champion.
Yeah, of course. Like, being the world champion, winning the world title, amazing. And now that you got it, you never want to let it go. And, you know, we're both aware of the big opportunities that come with being a world champion. So I'm going to do everything in my will to keep this belt.
What about the fact that you will have those fans against you, the majority of them, on Wednesday night? You've been in those situations before, but how do you react to having people against you in an arena like that?
Listen, at the end of the day, it's only two people in the ring, so it's down to myself how I approach that and how the outcome goes. But like, you know, like as an amateur, I fought in Russia 3 times, America 3 times. Like, I guess as a kid as well, like growing up. So, like I've been like accustomed to going abroad and competing anyway. So, yeah, like the atmosphere is going to be electric, no doubt. The city of Brisbane's been lovely. The people are great. So I'm expecting a good crowd.
And when people analyse this fight, Lewis, they have to take into consideration which version of you we are going to see. People are clearly trying to guess which Lewis Crocker it will be on Wednesday night. Do you want to give them any hints?
The best version of Lewis Crocker.
And do you have any final words to your fans who'll be watching and those fans that you have made here in Australia ahead of this big fight that we'll see here in Australia on Wednesday night?
Yeah, all my fans, thank you very much for the support. It's amazing to have and stuff. So tune in, it'll be a great fight.
Absolutely. That is Lewis Crocker and that is Liam Paro. Let's hear it for the world title combatants that you will see on main event on Wednesday night. We will face off the 2 main event fighters. George, if you'd like to position, and we'll get Liam and Lewis into position to face off ahead of this all-important world title fight on main event television on Wednesday night. Of course, it all takes place here in Brisbane at the Pat Rafter Arena. And it is Lewis Crocker, the IBF welterweight champion of the world, against Australia's former world champion, the challenger in Nelson Asofa-Solomona. Nelson, third time around as a professional boxer. What version of you are we going to see from what we've seen previously in this ring on Wednesday night?
Yeah, first of all, just want to say thank you to my Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ. You know, without him, I wouldn't have this opportunity. You're going to get the best version of Nelson. You know, I've had, you know, two camps. Actually, sorry, this is the third. And, you know, we've got better and better as time has gone on, and we've gone to a different level this one.
When we announced this fight in this very room, you doubted that George might make it to fight night. You thought he might not make it through the preparation and turn up on Wednesday night. Are you still doubting that, or are you confident now this fight goes down?
No, I think I'm pretty confident he'll turn up this time, but I think the real question is Russell Crowe and Chris Hemsworth going to be there? He said he's going to walk out with us, so I think that'll be pretty cool.
Doesn't matter.
No? All right. I heard a little whisper, Russell Crowe's going to be there tomorrow, so we'll look out for that.
That right, George? Can he star power joining you?
It doesn't matter. As long as it's just me and you in the ring, that's all I care about.
Were there ever any doubts, George, that you would make it through this preparation and to this fight? Because Nelson certainly expressed those doubts at that press conference.
Maybe he was hoping. He was hoping I wouldn't turn up. I was hoping I wouldn't make it through the camp. But unfortunately for him, here I am. And I've done the work, feeling confident, feeling calm, feeling ready for battle. And it's going to be fun in the ring on Wednesday night.
Do you think he's underestimating what you provide, George, because he hasn't seen you fight before, and really we haven't had great exposure to what you can do? Do you think that makes him feel this is going to be an easy night for him?
Yeah, see unknown. No one knows really. It's me that knows, and my trainer, and the people I've been training with. They know what I can do, but we'll see. You know, got to get in there and execute, and that's a different story. So he's had a few fights. I'm going in for my first one, and it's going to be fun.
Nelson, is that a concern to you that you really don't know what's going to be in front of you on fight night?
Like I said, you know, he's happy about the unknown, but you know, I've made known my power, and he's going to see it on Wednesday. So he's seen what I can do. He's seen the highlight reels, and he's going to be a part of it.
Is that your intent to stop George Burgess potentially early in this fight? Is that what you go into every fight trying to do?
It's not my intention. It's going to happen.
What do you think, George? What do you think happens in the fight?
Well, you know, we're going to back our training. We're going to both come in with a game plan, and I think it's going to end with the right hand knockout from me. Watch out, nasty.
Anything to finish on, Nelson?
The work is done. I'm keen. I'm ready to get in there.
George?
Get those hands up, brother.
Those are the heavyweights. That is the co-main event that you'll see on Main Event Television this Wednesday night as we head to the top table now.